So, good morning again from Hervey Bay Bowls Club for their 2025 Men's Classic Pairs. Proudly sponsored by our major sponsor, Time Lifestyle Resorts in Hervey Bay. And also our minor sponsors of BCIB Insurance Brokers, Clayton Hearing, the Fraser Coast Regional Council, Universal Home Improvements, Hervey Bay RSL, our local MP David Lee and Kerry Campbell Holmes. I'm Graham Hooper, Robbie's beside me, Brian's gone missing in action, and we're about to get going with the final round. Our players in this last round are Cliff Lean and Paul Clarke, are playing Paul Warburton and Steve Henry. So looks like our leads both come off the middle green, and we've found so far that boys that come off the middle green do struggle for a couple of ends on this green that is about 3.5 to 4 seconds quicker. So we've just got to do a bit of an educational program with the leads down there with the camera. Seems as though Robbie waving his arms has little effect at the moment, but I'm sure they'll get told when they come down here. I don't think we've got the results yet after round 4, have we? I know there was a couple of the undefeated sides went down, so I think the top of the result sheet might not be quite so clogged. Paul just heavy with that. So hopefully after the first end, which will be their roll-up end basically, good bowl coming in here. Still a bit of run on it though. Yeah. So, Paul Clarke, tight and under. After Steve Henry, try and draw the shot, take the measures out. I think young Steve might be a bit tight as well. And he's run through that good 4 to 5 feet. Paul over to the forehand. Down. Just needs to be under that, and he's all over this. And that should be the shot. There's about 4 of them, according to Steve Henry. All right, giving this plenty of grass. I think he might ease the pain a fair bit here. Coming nicely. If it's not shot, he's cut 3 out. One? Yep. 1 to Paul Clarke. Say that again? Yeah. So 1 to Paul Clarke. So straight up. The Maryborough boys have rolled it out. Long end. They should be used to something near this pace because they have 2 nice carpet greens at Maryborough that run quite quick. Not quite as quick as this, probably a second off it. Cliff, he's given this a bit too much. Just the breeze has got up as well, probably up around the 10k an hour mark. So this should be the wider hand with that easterly breeze. And Paul looks like he started well. Nice 2.5 feet. Cliffy needs to lose about 2.5 metres on his last. And he has. He's made a hell of a correction here. And shot. Yeah, very good bowl. Very good correction. Paul out well again. Just got to get it to come home. It's not turning hard out there. Jack high, lovely weight. Robbie. What's that? So Paul Warburton on the mat. under in his grass, but he's got some weight. And a piece of the jack. That helps a lot. And holding one. Steve persisting on this backhand side. He's needs to give that some. Got us slightly closer. And Paul just needs reasonably close to the same bowl here. He's not a long way away neither. He's played a good bowl here. 2 shots. So Steve Henry on his backhand. And the dead draw needs to be around Paul's short bowl. He's cut his grass. He has cut his grass, if we can see it. But he's rocked in through the hole for shot. Very good. So Paul just needs, Cliff, sorry, just needs a good full draw, shot bowl, touch jack. Should be on the forehand. He's going to get a wander, not enough of a wander off that front bowl. So we're down to 2 undefeated teams. Nick Gosley on 40 points and David Schofield on 40 points. David Schofield leading on ends by 6 ends. So Paul just a tad short. We have 15 teams on 3 wins and 2 teams on 4 wins. So the race for second, well, first is going to be interesting, but the race for the next few lots of prize money will get very interesting. Back to our game. Steve still holding the 1. Probably 2 seconds for Paul. Back on. And some weight, which that amount of grass is not going to do anything. He's taken out Steve's back bowl there. And Steve's persisting with the backhand. got some good grass here. Just not getting turned out there that wide. The way they've been turning in there, I thought that was reasonably good grass, but it just hung. So wait again from Paul. He's a lot closer. Dropped into the front. So free kick for Steve Henry. Holding one. It's just on the dead draw. Just got to avoid the two front bowls. Both are his anyway, but to get the shot, he does need to avoid those, which he has. Maybe. Yep. And doesn't need that hole. Great try. Under Steve Henry. So I can see one of our undefeated skippers or teams over on rink 22, where young Cooper Sutton is leading up against Ash, and I don't know who Cooper's skipper is. Nev Shovia, I believe. Yep. So they are playing David Schofield and Ash Smith. Ash is leading. Got some rain. It'll, if it gets through those covers and onto the green. Yeah, the rain's 3 minutes early. It said on Robbie's app that rain was expected at 11:30, and at 11:27 it started to rain. And if it gets through these covers, this green will speed up by at least a second. So Cliff down. I'm a bit surprised that one of the New Zealanders in front of me is putting on a jacket. I thought he'd be relishing this. He's taking his shirt off now. TJ, don't. So Cliffy with shot, but a good 4 feet away. Paul persisting with the ditch side. He's around these bowls a little bit quick. May just stayed up. Handy spot. So all of a sudden we've got a lot of friends undercover. The turtle, who should love the water, is underneath the cover. So Cliffy a bit long with that one. No, we'll find these boys. This green will speed up quickly.
Looks like it already has their hoops.
Yeah, with the moisture on it.
Mate, I can't understand how in the first game when the sun was out, nobody wanted to come and talk to us. Now we've got a heap of people want to come and have a yarn to us, mate, you know?
Very friendly lot.
Couple of great matchups here too in this one being the last round, and gee whiz, it's very interesting looking at the boards in there Hoops talking to a few people, and it's very, very interesting, mate, isn't it?
Yep, the two undefeated sides. One's over here.
Yep.
With Nev Shovia playing David Schofield, and I think Nick Gosley's up on rink. Was it 16?
He's on he's on the ditch rink there.
Yep.
Had a bit of a yarn to young Hayden Bartz, and told him Hayden how well he played.
Yeah.
And said, mate, next time around you could probably play 20% worse and win by 5.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
you had to feel for the young man.
mate, great young bloke, and just absolutely great to see the quality of bowls that he did play there, Hoops, you know. But this head here wide open.
Yep.
At the moment.
Yeah. I was just saying, the Maryborough boys should handle this green because the Maryborough green runs 16, 17 seconds.
Seconds too, yeah.
It's a nice grass green at Maryborough.
Yeah.
We're actually playing our Champion of Champion events at Maryborough.
Next weekend.
The singles start next week, yes. Done it to give our boys the best chance. We've, with the state finals being at North Mackay.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see how our club singles champions perform.
Yeah.
On the green at Maryborough. I'm pretty sure we're not going to get any wet weather next week, but who knows. But you missed out. Robbie just pointed out on his app that it was supposed to rain at 11:30 and it actually came in at 11:27. You just cannot rely on people, can you?
No, well, that's typical, mate.
Here's a good shot.
Great looking bowl here.
Yep. Still ran. See that moisture on the green.
Yeah, still running through.
Yes. There's jacks being thrown in ditches and
it's a brand new ball game, mate.
Yep.
That's the beauty about our game is that from one game to the next, only 15 minutes in between, and the green has changed so much.
Yeah, and then you've got quite a few of these fellows have come off the middle green.
Yeah.
At a slower pace and come onto this, and then all of a sudden it rains and it's quicker again.
It's quicker again, yes. Oh, gee whiz, I just seen one of Robbie's. I won't say any more.
Poor Robbie. Here it comes.
No.
Good. Don't stand out in the rain. So, the boys have now got to get used to a wider, quicker green.
Yep.
This bowl's going to be underdone on grass, but certainly not on weight. All the games.
Starting to get quite heavy now, though, in actual fact, Graham. So
it is. And if you're really smart, you'll stand under those shade cloths where the wire runs across.
Yeah, where the wire runs across, mate.
Because if you stand in the middle of the dip, that's where all the water goes.
Yeah.
And it trip like crazy.
Just see Robbie just putting the chart up there, the weather map, and you can just see a little bit of cloud just hitting Hervey Bay now. There's only one bit of cloud there, but there is a bit of yellow in it by the looks of it. So, and I think we're getting that part just at the moment.
We are. It's unfortunate in the last game. I hope we don't lose time. At this stage, there's no water on the green, so they can keep going. Says I, who's here and dry.
Well, this is the unfair advantage that Robbie has, though, so he can go out and pack up and he won't even get wet.
No.
Well, I got saturated just walking across from the club rooms to here. So there's only one little cloud there, so it's going to disperse very shortly, we do hope. Play a comfort level is...
Paul's just played a blinder.
Absolutely. A great looking bowl there.
And when you can see the arc on the green.
You can see it there.
This bowl is coming down the same arc.
Same arc.
With a touch more weight, but finishes really well.
You can see the line on the green there, which is,
Actually should make it easier, shouldn't it?
You'd think so, mate, wouldn't you?
Just follow your line. Make sure you don't follow a line of a much tighter bowl or something.
Could be in trouble. Yeah, I think it's done us an ease in a minute, Graham, by the looks of it.
Yeah. It's even starting to lighten up a touch.
Yep.
It's just making life uncomfortable for these boys. All right, Steve Henry. touch quick for Steve. Bit of a straighter line on his bowls than most.
Nice line on this one here. Comes down to his weight now. Is he just going to hold long enough? He's going to be awfully close, I think, Graham.
He's got the shot bowl.
Yeah, well played.
And sat there for shot.
Sat there for shot too.
Nicely played. But you could tell that had to have weight when you can see the difference in the two arcs from the draw shot to the weighted shot.
Going to pull the shades in by the sounds of it.
The shades are going in. Yeah. So you can guarantee that as soon as they do that, A, the rain will stop, and B, the sun will come out. It's called Murphy.
It's called Murphy's Law. It's ever so true.
He's a shot.
Oh, not quite. I still fancy that for being shot by the looks of it from here.
The speckle bowl, maybe.
Can be very deceiving, though, from where the camera is.
So Paul, he hasn't increased his grass, so I'm suggesting it's going to go under. Yeah.
Oh, look at the shade coming, mate. Look at the way it's dropping at the end of it.
Yeah, it's going to flood the green with that shade.
Yeah.
Oh, the water's just pouring off it.
Nev's not going to stand out in it.
Been there, done that.
Isn't it amazing though, Hoops? Like, I mean, people stand in the shower for 10 minutes to get wet, yet the moment they pull the shade cloths back, mate, they're running for cover.
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah. I don't know if they should have done that. The bell hasn't gone, and these guys are all off the green.
Well, they make the railings, mate, so it's all good. It's all good. It is getting a little bit heavier though now, believe it or not, and I think it's a good idea to pull it back, my personal opinion.
It's going to be interesting with all those, what is it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 lines, 7 lines across the green where all that water's come off the shade cloth.
No, it's starting to, the water is starting to subside now though. So
it is, the wind's got up.
Yeah, it has, hasn't it?
Yeah, they've got the shade coming back on the other green as well.
Yep, both greens, so all the players are off.
I must say that even though there's a lot of water came off those shades, that there's no standing water on the green. Don't block it out. There's my pennant skipper.
Yep.
Going for cover, Anthony Williams.
Now the thing about it though, Hoops, just looking that way, all those markers have now been washed off those bowls.
Yeah.
How do you know which one's a toucher, mate? Good memory?
Yeah.
Good memory.
So, do they replay the end now?
Well, it's up to them.
I don't know. The bell hasn't gone, so
no, I think it's fine. I'll just continue.
Those bowls stand.
Yeah, they'd stand. Yeah.
We finished our end down there.
Yep.
Not sure if they've declared it or not. Steve, who got shot down there? They got 2. Okay. And as I said, the sun's thinking about coming out.
It is. So we'll be looking for hats and sunglasses very shortly, I think, Hoops.
Yep. And the son of the mayor of Boonaroo, Anthony Williams.
Yep.
So first one out to throw a bowl down under new conditions, and
going for the kitty.
He's going for the kitty or the bowl. He got a bowl.
He's happy.
He's happy.
He's happy. He got the bowl.
I don't know what's going on up there. There was There seems to be some confusion about the situation with regards to starting again.
No, there was no bell rung, mate. So
I didn't hear a
it
bell.
just continues on, mate. So simple as.
Yeah. I think it might have been Nick Gosley just having a lend of Anthony Williams. Yeah.
Good call there by Anthony.
Yeah,
They can't trick him.
A lot of good humour. That's amazing.
That's what it's all about, mate.
So,
bit of humour about. 5 minutes, okay. He's just waiting for the few of the. An extra 5 minutes, yeah.
Yeah, I think they're just allowing an extra 5 minutes on the end of the game time.
Yeah.
So everybody's throwing bowls at the head now.
Yep.
I think our boys have had enough. They might have gone to the bar. Oh. You have to get up now, Yogi. He's drawing a touch.
Yeah, go put some chalk on it, Yogi.
Not happy. He interrupted his pie.
Hey.
Jim Hickey.
Good to see you, mate. Okay, mate. Good
Used
to
to
see
be
you.
the deputy mayor of Jindalee, I believe.
Yep.
You used to be the deputy mayor of Jindalee, Jim Hickey.
It's always great to catch up with Jimmy.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
So,
yeah.
So Cliffy's got the mat after picking up a 2 previous end.
Take care, buddy. All the best, mate. Catch you in November. Yeah. Yeah.
So, by some of the heads I'm looking at, this has certainly got quicker. I'm just looking one over there.
Yeah, it's got a lot quicker, mate.
Where Cooper and
yep.
young Ash are playing. It's so we've gone long.
We've gone 3/4 length here, Hoops.
This will be interesting.
Yep.
The rain continues. The sun's trying to poke its head through as well. Cliffy's launched this and it's going the wrong way.
Mate, yep. Didn't quite make it back in time there, Hoops.
No, I think a hell of a gust got that.
Yes. What was the name of that cyclone?
So, I think Paul would be disappointed if he didn't have shot after this bowl.
I know I would be, mate.
But they've got to take into account this will be much quicker.
Again, it's just starting to turn now. He is moving very quickly, and he is in the ditch.
Yep. So 0-all.
0-all at this stage. This has got to be shot, Hoops.
Oh, I think it will be. It's a radical statement. But
I think it's got to be shot, mate.
Yeah. And look how far that's gone.
Gone across the head. Well, look at the arc it's on. You can see there in the on the green.
So Paul's out in good territory.
Yeah, looking pretty good here, Paul.
Should
run all the way to the kitty, mate.
Very good adjustment to a bowl that went in the ditch with his first one.
That's
very good bowl.
Yeah.
I think there'd be a lot outside that.
I think there'd be a hell of a lot outside it, mate.
We've got over there David Schofield playing Nev Chauvier. David Schofield's one of the 2 undefeated side.
Yep.
Nev's got young Cooper leading up for him, and Ashley Schmidt leading up for David Schofield. So it's one of the undefeateds.
Okay, Paul on the mat at the moment.
Well, I think he's quick.
Starting to work his way in. I think he's going to sneak around the back though, Hoops, yeah. Yeah, he's going to drop.
Yeah,
look at that. Jeez, it's just kept running, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, it's got to be over 19 seconds now.
Yeah.
And to get in your head when you've been playing on grass that it's raining, it normally slows down, doesn't it?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's what I said. If the amount of rain they had here on Friday night, if you were on a grass green, you'd be lucky to be playing.
You'd be lucky to be playing, mate. You're 100% correct. Where here you've got to get in your head, I've got to take more grass and chuck it easier.
Yep. A smaller step. And
yeah.
So I think he's quick again.
Yeah, he's looking pretty quick out of the hand there.
Yeah. So we're 2 on the green.
There's quite a few there, mate, starting to line up on that ditch, mate. I tell you.
Well, Stevie's out wide, and I don't think that's coming back. They take a different line, these bowls of Steve's.
Well, I think it's going to stay up, though. But has it come back in bounds? No, it hasn't. There's another one gone.
So if someone can launch that jack up onto the ditch, it'll be an interesting count.
Yeah. Just watch on.
So Cliffy trying to keep another one on the green. He's out on a good arc.
Yep.
But I'm worried about his weight. There, he's gone.
You can see the amount there just on the ditch there.
Oh, that might have come out a bit quick. There's another one.
Another one gone.
Yeah.
Doing their work there, trying to
Mate.
not so far to bend, pick them up.
Cliffy's kept this on.
Yeah, this is looking pretty handy.
It isn't a bad bowl, this. Oh, if it came home.
Oh.
I don't think it's in anybody's road. So, Paul.
Is he wide enough?
Yeah. Is he here enough?
No.
Still coming, Brian. Don't give it away. Look at this. Look at the end of the run on that.
Yes. Yeah. 19.5 been clocked at. 19.61.
Yeah.
Pretty quick.
It is quick. And it was just under 18.5.
And now we see blue sky out there, Hoops, so it'll probably start slowing down in another 10 minutes or so when it dries out a little bit more. It's something that players have to adapt to too, for being as quick as it is, and then all of a sudden, as I said, it'll start slowing down. So.
A lot to be said for the Tweed indoor, isn't he? You got no excuses there.
Yeah, you got no excuses at all, Hoops.
I think this is another one added to the bank.
Definitely does look that way, mate. That was Paul.
Yeah. So Stevie only has to put this on the green within a yard of Jack, and he's going to be holding 3.
I think he could be a bit quick too.
He looks that way. They hold a far different line, those bowls.
Mm.
He's trying to stop.
Whoa,
Just
just fell
right
back.
on the edge.
Oh, dear.
I think Paul's still quick. He might. So, free kick to Steve.
Probably locked in second shot with that bowl, though, you know.
He could have cut the front one out.
Yeah.
Up and down, but Steve's just got to avoid the front traffic and draw another. Pretty easy when you say it quick.
I'll ask him, Michael.
And 0-all.
Yep.
It's like having 2 resting on the jack. I see Chalky over there just putting a bowl down. A late inclusion into our district side.
Yep. Chalky, yep.
82 years old and was almost our MVP for the whole
Tournament.
He just played fantastic bowls.
Can happen.
Yeah, he was awesome. Played on our best performed rink, led him up. I think there was a few young guys that couldn't believe their eyes when this 82-year-old just kept going bang, bang.
Oh, nothing better, mate. What's that?
Well, it says a lot about the game. There's a lot of young guys at the top of the game.
Yep.
But there's a lot of guys with a bit of age on their side that can still play the game.
Ever so true, Hoops. I mean, look at people like Robbie Allen, for argument's sake, you know. He's very much an old man these days, but he can still get out there and match it with the best of them. Hey.
He hasn't got his veterans badge yet.
Oh, mate, he hides it.
Okay.
The way he looks, he's got to be due for his super veterans pretty soon, I reckon. Oops,
It's just hard life of a former All Black trialist.
Trialist, mate, junior All Black.
Good start there. Cliff.
I'd like to know when he was ever a junior, though.
Oh, before you or my time.
No, had to be, mate.
Cliffy not on a bad line here.
Not going to be too far away.
No.
That's a great first up bowl by Cliff.
Yeah, 2 good ones.
So there you can see the sun coming out now.
Yep. There's 2 good lead bowls from Paul. He's given his skipper something to work with.
Yep.
Cliffy out on that nice wide line again.
Not going to be too far away with this one either, Hoops. Just starting to work its way into the head now. Yeah, 2 good bowls.
Yeah.
Still on the run too, so still workable.
Still can be used.
Yep.
And just that little bit in the eye for Steve is obviously going to try and move that jack about 18 inches. Okay. Stevie's plonked it out there. Not sure about his weight.
Just going to pull up a bit short, mate.
He's underdone it.
treating it a little bit too much respect there, I think. May put Paul onto his forehand here, though.
I think so. Yeah,
A lot safer. Yeah.
Forehand to the yellow bowl would
Yeah.
be ideal. Just a bit quick for it, I think. But
Good home.
good home.
Nothing wrong with that.
Stevie's around his own.
Yep.
Now he's got to dive into the head. He's coming and trying very hard.
Great bowl. Just
just
caught the edge of it.
Seen that a bit in the first game, didn't we?
Actually did Aidan Bart's delivery there.
He did. Paul trying hard to get down to that yellow. Just behind. So it'll be interesting to see how Steve and Paul treat this head now. I don't see a shot for them on the backhand unless it's with weight.
Yep.
But if they play a draw shot with a foot of weight onto the shot bowl, jack straight back to their own. So let's see, I think Paul's lining up on the forehand. He is. And this will be purely about weight. I think he's way wide.
A bit wide with this one, I think, though, Hoops.
Yep.
Even that's not going to come back from there, mate. And they're ripping back a fair way.
Yeah. He does have backward if they want to go with weight, but really it's just a draw shot to the line. Yeah, Cliffy's going the safe route. And his ideal is to get to this back yellow bowl.
It's not going to be too far away, mate.
No. And that means that the weight now has got to be critical from Paul and Steve. Still think he's got a bit too much weight to get down to the shot. Tell you what though, he's got another catcher.
Yeah, there's a few of them there waiting for it now, mate.
There is. So Cliff could get to that last bowl that's on the line. It'd be ideal for his side. He's given it a chance again. Just doesn't want that hole.
Still running too, look at that.
Great try.
Yep.
So, forehand draw shot for Steve, really. Or weighted.
The changeover's on.
Sun's glary.
The sun's very, very glary, mate.
And Steve Henry with weight. Got his own too.
Got his own too, yeah.
Now needs to be careful.
Very careful. Okay.
So
Paul on the mat now.
Paul probably trying to just draw to that yellow and add. Doesn't really want to be narrow. Just a soft. No, he's
Still
done it
kept
well.
running.
Missed everything. Steve, wait again. Nope. needs to get back to that shot bowl. He's trying awfully hard. Under the jack, not quite far enough. Good try.
Yep. Bring Mr. Walker in and say a few words.
Yeah.
I just know I'm...
So, how did that end up? One to Steve in the end, I think. Yeah, Paul's off for the mat, so... Yeah, it is. So, welcome to John Walker. That one, I think. That's mine.
Oh,
Yep.
oh, sorry.
So, John, you're on the mic. Welcome.
Hello, Graham. How are you?
Very well.
That's the idea.
Bowling brilliantly here.
Hang on. Right, let's get this sorted out.
God, you Kiwis are backward. Now we're right. Yeah.
Good morning, Graham. How are you, buddy?
Yeah,
and
good
good morning,
job.
Robbie. I've been watching a little bit on the television, on YouTube, but it's a bit of rain has made a bit of an effect at this time round.
Oh, it sped this up.
Has it ever?
Well over 19. And as I explained to Brian, if you come off the other green, which is so much slower, it just compounds. So once again, coming this way, I think we might have lost that first one.
We've got Cliffy.
Cliffy's probably under the grass line, but all he's got to do is keep it.
Yeah,
on,
you're right.
Keep it on the green.
Yeah.
And pick a jack up would be handy. And once again, see that run when it gets to that speed and it just goes and goes. He's stayed up, probably 1 3/4 metres past jack. But the other one's right on the edge. Thanks, Robbie. So
I'm finding
this one's in.
I'm finding it difficult to see the screen. Okay, righto. No, I won't encroach you. I won't encroach you.
John's trying to sit on Robbie's lap, but it's a worry.
Oh, a couple of New Zealanders, we wouldn't go wrong, would it?
Cliffy's cut his grass again. And he's quick again. So, similar to his first.
This has got some pace with the screen, hasn't it?
It is sped up since the rain hit, and when they pulled the shades across, it dumped a fair bit of water onto the green.
It would too, yeah.
So, yeah, it has sped up even more. It's just nothing like having consistent conditions. The wind's picked up a little bit, the rain's come, the green's sped up.
I was surprised to see the shades go out, as a matter of fact, but it takes away that wind factor.
It does.
But
the wind's not horrendous.
No, there's no wind there now.
Probably less than 10k now.
Yeah, not like it was earlier on this morning.
So, young Steve Henry, plenty of room to draw a shot.
Come on, Pinhead, show us what you're doing. He's got a good nickname, Steve.
Yes, he does. He's got a few for me, I can tell you. He's got a tighter set of bowls than anybody on the green too, I might add. So he's gone through that good 1 3/4 meters as well.
He's a very accomplished bowler. They've been around for a long time.
Yes. So Paul, once again, under the head. Yeah, the boys are just struggling a bit after the shades have gone away.
They would.
So we'll give them another roll-up end.
And then they see the tracks on the wet tracks coming of the bowl going down. And you think, now which one do I follow?
Yes. Yeah. So Steve.
Yeah, follow your own line.
Steve's tight again. But he's really just got to stop and he's going to be shot. And his weight is very good.
Yep, good way to bowl. So it's because it's drawing it on the other end, isn't it? Coming jack high.
Yep. Bit of a better line from Paul, but I still think he's quick. If he gets older, Steve, he won't be. You missed that.
Just also on the change over there, Graham. Young Bart's the young fella, young Aiden. Oh, gee, didn't he put some good balls in?
Yes, he did.
And with a lot of unlucky.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was watching a little bit of it while I was at home, and yeah, not a bad young lad.
No, he kept it together really well too.
Yeah,
I was pretty impressed with that, Big.
And his father.
If you talk about being in the area, he was in the area so often
Yes.
with no result. It would have got a touch frustrating for him, but he kept persisting and he put some really nice bowls down. And to give it the credit where it's due, though, Max and Mal, they filled the head.
Did they ever?
So
Max played very well. Yeah.
So when those edges came, they were, there were opposition bowls all around the place. So, but there's not much that Aiden could have done different. So.
And Paul's just gone a little bit over this.
Yeah, he's run through again.
Yeah.
It's a popular spot. If someone puts a kitty in a ditch, there'll be a good measure between some.
It'll be a challenge if the kitty goes in quite a few times and just to draw to the ditch.
Yes.
That would be that great.
Yeah. I think all you can do on the mat in
just
that situation is draw to the tee.
Yes, that's all.
Rely on being a tad heavy. Good shot here. Good shot.
Very good.
Cliff. Yep.
Cliffy.
So he's now got the shot. Only one.
And Cliffy should be used to these type of greens.
Yeah, coming from Maryborough.
Coming from Burnaroo.
Yeah.
Well, he's wearing a
Maryborough too.
Yeah.
So Paul a bit quick again. And he might have sunk this. He has. Skipper's called. Just a draw on the backhand, touch the jack across to his own bowls. Really, Cliffy should just treat as a good, solid draw shot. He's given it plenty of grass. Now got to come back. Gee, he had a lovely weight. So, wonder Cliff and Paul at the moment. Steve has best backwood. So, he's got the choice of draw the shot or whack it. So, Steve trying to draw. Starting to turn into the head now. Probably a touch quick. And in the sink. So I'll see if Paul can do what he asked Cliffy to do, and slight touch on the jack. Just got to miss that. He's run into it, but come across for a 2. Steve still on the draw. A little bit more grass. He's trying very hard to get back to this jack. Good shot here, Steve Henry.
My word, a good shot.
Yeah. Two down to 1 up. So Paul playing weight. Don't get the turn.
Just too much taste to allow it to turn.
So 1 to Steve Henry.
Yep. Looking at 6-3 to Steve. It's still a close game. Very close game.
Yes.
Over the other 4 games that you've been here, Graham, who's been the standout?
I think Mal and Max as a combination were really good in that last game. They just seemed to cope with anything. You know, if it got killed, Mal's drawing to the tee was awesome.
Yeah.
Max's leading was really good.
That's the first time I've seen Max play so well.
Yeah, if he had one that was nowhere near it, his next bowl was all over it. His correction was really good.
And on that pace green, he was just superb.
Yes, yeah. So as a combination, I think those two stand out. Like you said about young Aiden, Brian and I both felt so sorry for him because he played extremely well. Scoreline didn't reflect how he played, but that's how it goes sometimes.
That's how bowls goes sometimes, isn't
it? Yeah. Peter Wright played quite well yesterday.
I did notice that.
He would have been MVP in that game. Sort of carried the side.
He's the Iceman.
He's the Iceman. My good mate Bruce Freeze.
Yep.
Great start from Paul Warburton.
Very good start. And the turtle's not quite wet yet at the moment. He's going along, turtle.
Yeah. He's got a big enough shell to look after him. So, Cliffy to reply to this very good start of Paul. It's coming home well. Just a little quick.
That's all. What
is amazing though is when they slow down and you think they're about to stop, they've still got 2 metres at least in them.
Well, that gives you the idea of what the pace is.
So Paul again trying to repeat the effort. Let's overcook this a bit. He's dropped it in the sink. So, Cliffy, similar line to last one. Just needs to have dropped his weight a tad. He's dropped it. He's just going to be that's a good try. Good second shot.
And the upright leaders at the moment are
Schofield
and Ashley.
Yep, and Nick Gosley and
Phil
Rice.
Did you hear what happened to Phil yesterday? Nick drove at the kitty, lifted it up, went over the ditch, and straight into Phil's shin.
Really?
Oh, what a mess of his shin it was! He drove that hard, it lifted it.
He can drive, young Nico.
Boy, can he ever?
Phil's a tough Iluka man. He wouldn't have noticed.
Yeah, I tell you what, he was thinking about going to the hospital to have a look at it.
Yeah. I found out on the way out of here that those aluminium seats over there, when the lights are turned off and you can't see them, are right at my kneecap height.
Oh, yes, I'm reading into something like that.
Yeah.
I'm reading something there.
Makes an interesting sound.
Yeah, I bet it does.
Okay. Steve was narrow. How's Paul coming down? Needs to be slightly overweight on that line to get hold of Jack. He's close. And he found the hole. Yeah, how often does that happen? So Steve just needs to make a correction in his grass, and he'll be very close to this.
It's unfortunate they've had to share the carnival with another club, but it's just, at least it was good of Uranga that allowed them to use their green.
It was. Well, they call it an act of God, what happened on that first green with the flood and so on. It is unfortunate for the club, but
it's just one of those things.
It's running smoothly, so
especially all the money they'd put into it and everything, and to find out. But the sinkhole goes quite a way.
Yeah, it's a good attempt by Paul. Just grass problem.
When you're part of that flood that was here back a few months ago, it was quite dramatic.
It was dramatic for me. I was watching it from overseas. My wife said to me, "What happens if the house is gone?" I said, "Well, we either live where we are or we're on Fraser Island, but
you keep travelling.
Nothing we can do about it." And luckily, some friends went around and just said, "No, your house is still there." I said, "That's good."
Yeah, but you're not so much in the flood area there, are you?
No, but it was quite off-putting being over and seeing where the water was and how much there was. And
oh, gee, it was.
It's something that, if you live in Hervey Bay, it's hard to envisage.
Yeah, it's hard. Go, buddy.
Oh, Steve, you're supposed to be out there directing your lead. He's doing a good job, though.
No, he can direct things from everywhere. You're going well, Panette.
It is. Yep, he's dragged it and not given it away. Lovely bowl. Small problem of probably 2 or 3 seconds to the opposition, but probably 2. So Cliffy, turn over to the forehand. Little touch on the jack is advantageous, or is he? He's going to persist with the backhand. Playing a little bit of weight.
A little wicket off that one. Got him.
Bang. Didn't move it far enough. But opened it up a little bit more. So Paul on that nice wide line again. Gets down underneath his own bowl, he's going to be close. He might use it.
Dead draw.
Ooh, nice piece of backward.
He still ran on, didn't he?
It's got that edge. Okay, Cliff just underdone his grass a fraction. Great try. I need the shade cloths over again, John.
I think so.
Yeah, sun. I said to Brian, as soon as they go back, the rain will stop and the sun will come out, and it has.
Well, I don't know if you've ever done it. If you ever travelled through Ballarat in Victoria, you've got a place that's got 4 seasons. You've got rain, hail, snow, sunshine.
Why'd you single out Ballarat? That's just Victoria.
It's easy to single out Ballarat.
So Steve, backhand. Got to be gentle on the backhand with a bit of danger behind.
Doesn't look at it. It looks as though it's got a reasonably good pace.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to get down.
Not going to die.
His line on those bowls is slightly tighter than the others on the green. So Paul at one down. He's got a little bit to play for.
Steve led for the district for a number of years, and he also played too. But he was a very good bowler a few years ago. But as we all saw, as we get a little bit older in the tooth, the younger ones come up, take over.
Yeah, I think Paul's playing a touch forceful here, trying very hard to get to that jack. Oh, goodness. That was close. Small target over a long way. By the look of that, do you think they've got 1 or 2 seconds, Robbie? I think they may only have 1. So, Steve, it's got more of a chance of getting down to jack.
It just curls around the outside of it.
But
that metre over.
Yes.
But it's better off there than short.
Paul again. Touch less weight, hoping to drop down. Needs to be careful of the jack here. He wants to come with it.
Sliced it.
Oh, he might have got shot out of this. That's Cliff. Is that Cliffy's bowl over there? Cliff's got 2 there. They've rolled 1 out. Having a look at...
Just 1?
I'm not sure. Steve, how many? So... Steve Henry 6, Paul Clarke 4. Steve Henry's still sledging me. He hasn't stopped since we played district together. Just knocked a lady over. Good on you, Steve. So... Cliff shortened it up a little bit.
You concentrate on your game, Steve.
Yeah, just a yard over. In a workable spot. The great Anthony Williams, just walking past.
Yeah.
As I said earlier, he's the son of the mayor of Boonaroo. He's more famously known as he's the brother to Nicole and Fiona.
Yes.
I don't know how he copes with being the 4th best bowler in the family. So Cliffy, nice wide line. Just, I think, a bit pacey.
Yeah, the Williams family, they've been a very, very good bowls family for a number of years.
Yes.
And Anthony would be probably the best as he goes past.
As he goes past, I wouldn't be saying that in front of Nicole and Fiona, though. Just a tad quick.
No, they regardless of what I said, they're a very, very astute family in the bowls and been part of the Fraser Coast men and ladies for a long time.
Yeah, I was talking to Fiona the other day, and
Yeah.
she's ecstatic about the open pennant that we're going to run from Division 2 down, because
Yes.
the girls finally get to play pennant for the first time in a long time.
Yeah, because work has always cost them. Having the work in there.
Yeah, with ladies pennant being run during the week.
That's right,
Any
yeah.
working lady has suffered from that, and they can all now, thanks to the open pennant Div 2 down, can go out on a weekend and have a solid game of pennant.
And represent their club.
Yes. Yeah, so she was quite happy about that, and
Well, probably Tony Tony would probably get a game there now, wouldn't he?
or he'd probably play 3 for Nicole, I'd say,
Yeah.
if they picked it sensibly. So, Steve Henry trying to draw out of a bit of trouble here. Giving it a chance. Just got a turn for him. Yep, he's drawn the shot.
He's drawn it, yep.
Yep, well played.
Gee, that's hard to see that.
So Paul, fair arc. He's got to not find the hole and pull up.
How about setting that ball?
No,
No.
just got the edge.
He only wanted to touch and it would have rolled him.
Yep, he's probably 2 feet heavy to get shot, but yeah, fuller touch on the bowl was good. So Steve again after a very good first bowl. A little bit tighter. Coming home. And I tell you, where that finishes is very, very handy.
Good
Right
hand.
in amongst 3 of the opposition bowls. Well, 2 anyway. So 1 to Steve. A couple of catches for Cliffy to work with. That is quite glary, John.
It is.
I think my sunnies are in my bowls bag.
tell you
Nowhere near here. So, yeah, definitely a good 1 to Steve. Cliff to try and change it. So you got a nice little carnival coming up in July, John, and
Yes, I have.
by Alba.
It was meant to be June, the end of June. Unfortunately, the senior citizens want the use of the club, so they've allowed that to happen. And we've had to extend it out 1 week. But the carnival we had the other day, that was 28 teams. It was really good. A good day. Everyone enjoyed it.
Brilliant day for bowls.
Was it ever?
Weather was just typical Hervey Bay weather for this time of year.
Yeah.
Paul's on a good line here. He's just got to get down to Steve's bowl. He has. He's made 2.
Matter of fact, had a phone call from Bagara this morning. Got a young fellow wanting to come and play in it, so starting to pull them in from the other areas.
Yeah. Good greens, good competition always works. Okay, Cliff, narrow a line. Gee whiz. He needs that shot bowl. He's played a cracker.
Yes,
Good bowl.
very
Cliff.
good bowl.
Yep. One to the Cliff and Paul show. Let's see if Paul Warburton can reply. Out on that nice line for his bowls. Just comes down to pace now. He is trying very hard. He doesn't want to miss it now. Oh, dear, oh dear. What a great try.
Too much bias on that ball. And just talking about carnivals, the November carnival coming up the Classic Fours.
Ah, yes.
I've got about 14, 15 entries already.
Oh, that's good.
Only released it there, 2-3 weeks ago.
Well, people realise this is a place to come to. It's a great place to come, and if you take a day either side and hang around Hervey Bay, I know in November we don't have the whales here, but there's other stuff to do, and
Many things.
as Brian said earlier, there's plenty of stuff for the kids to do as well.
Well, probably you got the RSL little putt golf. It's just absolutely sensational. They get huge crowds there.
Yeah, you got the water park. The
Yes.
water park's free.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a great holiday destination, Hervey Bay. And as I found out, it's just as good a place to live.
That's why the population here is growing so fast.
Mm.
Well, I came here in 2006. Gee, it's just expanded so much, it's not funny.
Steve on a...
Good ball here, Steve.
He's trying
What a ball.
so hard.
Yep, that would
He
be the
may-
shot. Very close to it.
One down.
Still one down.
Yeah, he just nicked that jack a fraction, and it's still sitting at Cliffy's bowl there. He's made it interesting, though. So whether that changes...
And the angle he come in, he touched there would certainly move it towards Cliffy's bowl anyhow.
So Paul just trying to beat that last bowl. I think he's tight. Trying to beat that last bowl of Steve's. He is tight. Bit heavy as well. So Steve looking at the 3 down at the back, and Paul's just called him backhand to try and roll that bowl through a couple, and they'll be holding 3 or 4. So it just needs to be under Paul's wide bowl. I think he's just a bit quick for the job. Yeah, he was chasing Cliffy's bowl.
Yeah. And then once you add a little bit of weight on it, it'll just, you got to make sure you take the line to get to it.
Yeah, it's
You tend to take the same type of line.
it definitely doesn't bend much on this carpet with any sort of weight.
Yeah. Can you see the Gosling?
5-4. I don't know who's the 5 and who the 4, but it's 5-4 on Nick Gosley's rink.
So that's hasn't been changed for a while, I wouldn't think.
I don't know is he playing Bruce Jewell? Looks like it. It's 12-4.
Yes, he is playing Bruce.
12-4 on Schofield's rink, but I don't know who's the 12 and who's the 4.
Yeah, Brucey Jewell played about 57 games for the. There might have been more for Victoria. Very good player, Bruce.
So here we have Cliff. Reasonable line, reasonable weight, usually ends up a reasonable bowl.
And
Great start.
I can, talking about Bruce Jewell, he gave me one good lesson one day, Graham. That was down in Warrnambool when we were playing the Classic Fairs. He was playing with David Donaldson, and I was playing with a guy called Charlie Yodgy. Anyway, Charlie's put a bowl down, and he's got a toucher. So I marked it, but I put the chalk mark on the front of the bowl.
Yep.
So next time, it was actual fact, it was David Donald's bowl, and I marked David's, and I put the big cross on it in the front. And Bruce came said, "Johnny, you do not mark a bowl on the front. You mark it at the back. You are cheating."
Oh.
and
Okay.
He had to go up there about it. So I said, "Okay, well, I learned something."
Another great bowl here from Cliff. There's 2 good openers.
That was going back years ago, back in the early 90s.
Yeah.
He says, "You always mark the back of the bowl so you don't see the chalk."
Okay. Well, these days you spray
Yeah.
or you dot it with a pen.
Yes. Yeah. There's close ball, very, very close ball.
Yes.
And from that day onwards, I've been good mates with with Bruce. We've always have the respect for each other.
So, one and a look down for Steve or up for Paul, depending on which side of the coin you're on. I think maybe, I'm not sure who's in front over on David Schofield's rink. Just saw the scoreboard change, but both numbers changed, so it's hard to pick up. So,
unfortunately, I've got the old
Paul
sight problems.
Quick. And he's put that in the sink. So Steve playing the backhand with a little bit of weight. Trying to get onto the yellow bowl or the jack. Take your pick.
How about the jack?
How about neither?
No.
There's another hole. They are bigger than bowls, they say.
They left the gate open.
So Paul probably wants to lose 3 metres on his last. See, a bit surprised he's playing this hand, really, because of that.
Yes, it wasn't a...
I thought
probably would have been better on the other hand.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
he could have rode off the current shot ball. He could have rode off that and still got a result, but not give the shot away.
Steve hasn't got a lot of fear here because he's got the best backwood. He's holding shot, and
he's way out.
Yeah, he was trying to make sure of the backwood. But really, Paul's yellow bowl at the back is going to be their insurance policy.
He was trying to get the cover the shot at Fraser Island.
Yeah, Paul's just saying to Cliff, you've just got to draw to that bowl. Any touch on it will move the jack. It's really just a dead draw shot because he touches it. He's got a bowl a foot behind. Cliffy's out there, and he's given this a chance.
But
what a great try!
Yeah,
what a great try.
If it fell over, it'd probably come in on the jack. But that was a very, very good attempt. Thing is, he's still there. He's got something to work with.
Yes. So, Paul, anything behind here is going to be valuable. And that's another one they've got at the back. So it just means it's so weight critical, this bowl of Cliff's. As Robbie shows there, 46 minutes to go. He's in the area again, I think.
I think he might just run away, I think.
He's only got to touch it. He's got it again. Both, that's two great tries with no result, but he's put that bowl in a really good spot.
He has.
I think Steve and Paul would be very happy with a one-up here. Once again, any bowl behind here is quite valuable for them. Oh, it's behind. It doesn't hurt. But I can see the look on Steve Henry's face from here. What do I do? I think he's in a fairly good position. He could possibly cover that back blue bowl, and I think it'd pay Steve to stay away from it.
I think Steve's option would be to get round the back.
Yeah, he's got backwood.
Yep.
He's got the best backwood. He's got two reasonably close behind.
He's got the shot. Let the others try and get it.
Yeah, exactly right. You know, one in the hand, they always say.
Yeah, the old saying, bird in the hands with two in the bush.
So, Paul Clarke. I'll tell you what, he's not a long way away neither. This will all.
Oh,
He got it.
yes.
And he got it straight back to his own. So you could just about say he's played that to perfection. Great shot. Steve's now got to look for that. He's got to go through the hole, little swinger.
There's the beauty of having the back bowls.
Yes. Yeah. Well, probably unlucky for Steve that, you know, it's sat full into that bowl. He did have the backwood, but that was played very, very well. So if he gets any contact on this, he should also have the tee. He'd probably go close to killing it if he's got weight. But now he's got to get the bend. And he's going to clear some out from the front. And made it harder because he sat on the line.
I think I've lost you, Hoops.
So through the hole. Oh, that was nearly dangerous. It's sort of the shot that Steve's got to play. Any part of the jack or the bowl.
Wouldn't he be better off playing his forehand?
Frank Harrower. Yes, this is the last game, Frank. Yeah, I thought he'd just try and play a similar shot that he played with his first one, but he doesn't like that. So, squares the game up. Yeah, this is the last game, Frank.
I've given up trying to read that.
Oh, the glare.
Sorry, we can't answer your comments. We got a very strong glare where we're sitting. Very hard to see.
Mike Watts is watching from Abbotswith. Guessing in Wales with that little flag there. And Jeremy Cooper defeated Ian Crockett in the Stafford Bowls Club B grade singles in Cairns. Well done. Okay, we're still out at that slightly better than 3/4 length.
I've lost.
Oh, you fucking. So, Cliffy covering the back early. Now, Paul just trying to get one nice and close. Reasonable line. I think it's a touch tight. If his weight's good, it won't matter. Just under. And he's left Cliffy room.
Yep, that's better. Yeah, thank you. This is Schofield.
So, Cliffy's better weight this time. Very good correction, Cliffy Lean.
That's
Well played.
That's a good bowl.
Yes. So he just did it the opposite way. He's put one behind, then one on.
Yeah.
For a skipper, it doesn't matter how you do it, I guess. It's just as long as you do it. I think Paul's overcooked his grass out there. It's got a very wide line, and there just seems to be a spot out there where
Once you get out that once you get out that far, it's she'll just stay out there.
Yes.
Well, it's been a challenging game for both teams here.
It has.
Yeah, very challenging, and a good challenge.
It's just as Brian and I discussed earlier, that those 8-10 foot on shots that you play are so hard to play on a bowl on a carpet green this quick.
On this pace.
Yeah.
And if you're going to, it's a draw or drive, and if you drive, you drive. Very hard to play that little on shot.
Yes. Paul Clarke, a little bit heavy here. But in a useful position considering he's got shot.
You're better off putting bowls in the head, at least you're going to get a result.
Yes.
And the thing is, when you drive on these carpets, they slide sometimes they slide.
Oh, they slide out of your hand. Yeah,
do they
it's
ever?
quite noticeable.
Yeah.
And when bowls get hit, they slide before they flip.
Mm.
So Steve's just a tad wide and heavy with that one. It's still a bit quick, Paul. But considering how the jack's situated, it's not in a really bad position. It's still usable. Steve, touch tighter. Now he's working. Now he's working. Oh, that's run on.
Yeah.
That looked like it was going to be right behind the jack.
Ran on 18 inches, didn't it?
Yeah, it was a very, very good try.
Just to even draw at this pace, to get him anywhere near the jack,
Oh,
is a pleasure to get it there.
yes. Yeah. It's a high concentration pace. I feel it's just a game you can't let your mind wander at all on something this pace.
You and I would go well.
Yeah, don't think so.
Not as a pair.
I must admit, I did play on this a couple of years ago at Mooloolaba when they had the state over 60s there, and it was running 19 there,
and not wet.
and not wet, but I was using a set of. That's a very good bowl, very good bowl. I was using a set of bowls that on grass were a tighter line. I've never seen them turn so far as what they did on that Mooloolaba.
Well, you only had to watch the state mixed pairs the other day, and where they were coming from. It was man's never been that far.
Yeah. That's one of the best games of mixed pairs I've seen, and the men's pairs final, that was something to watch. A bit of a wizard, young Jeremy Henry.
Yep.
But I think Kane was sick of the sight of him.
And then young Indy comes up and knocks him off.
Yeah, but Kane's put himself in a position that quite a lot of people weren't in. He was playing in finals. Cliffy now, well back. I've got the back covered, split. Steve just calling for a slight touch on the jack on the backhand from Paul.
In actual fact, we've got Indy coming to Paiova
Oh, okay.
for the fours.
A little rumour that there's one Nathan Rice coming to play.
I believe so. I believe he is.
Superstar of our game.
That's for sure.
Now, I don't pretend to be a selector, but I still reckon that guy could play for Australia.
Well,
He is a brilliant player and an all-round good man.
and has been like that for years.
Yeah. I've had the pleasure of playing against Loach a few times, but it's not really a great pleasure because I get bowls lessons.
Because you know where you stand with him.
But he is just the loveliest guy.
Yeah. Nothing upsets him.
Not really.
Just so casual. Mr. Casual.
Okay. Oh, Paul just missing that bowl to sit.
No, we're not going to make comment.
So, Steve, just any touch on that jack is what he wants. Not so sure his bowl will come back from there.
I got too much space.
Just adds another one if he can get that touch. If he could get that 1 yard touch on the jack.
But look at the line he's got. The line's perfect.
So Paul, once again, I think he's under trying to get to that blue one. Didn't want anything to do with the jack, and strong. So Steve doesn't have to change a lot. He was just a slight change in his line at that pace, and he brings a lot of bowls into the count, and he's gone wide. Not a happy camper. It's not like Max in the last game. Brian and I noticed he'd put a bowl down and throw his hands in the air and draw a toucher.
I did see that. I did see one of his shots, yes.
He did it more than once.
Yeah.
And then he finally did one late in the game, and he was actually right. It wasn't that good, but he was. So we're down to a measure for 2.
It's a good meter. That one's well on.
Yep.
Well on.
One shot to Paul Clarke. Hits the front at 7-6. Tight game after 9 ends. 10 ends.
And 31 minutes to play.
Yeah, while they're doing that, I might just do a quick around the grounds of the undefeated sides and see how that's going.
Right, mate. That's good, Robbie. Paul's coming down on his backhand here. Just a not bad pace. Good line. Finishing on the centre line. I mean Cliffy that was. There you got Paul coming down here with the coloured bowls on his forehand. He's very well laid. Reasonably good pace. Yeah, it's not going to run very far. Well done. Well done, Paul. the sun's gone behind the clouds, we can see the screens a little bit better. Yeah, it makes a big difference, probably, doesn't it? I'm surprised that I see so many bowlers, they turn their back on their bowl. The old saying is, always keep an eye on your bowl, how can you correct it?
Okay, I'm back from the around the grounds.
It was a fast trip.
Yes, well, there's only 2 undefeated sides. I didn't have to do a lot of working. Nick Gosley, one of the undefeated sides, holding shot at the moment. Can't see the head from here, but he's 8-5 down. And David Schofield, the leader of the pack, is 15-6 down, 13-6 down. But someone said he might have just dropped to 5, so that could well be 18-6. We'll find out on the...
Gee, if they both lose...
Well, we had 15 teams on 3 wins.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it opens up the whole competition.
Does it ever? Even Smithy might get a game.
Yeah, but I've played a fair bit with Nick Gosley, and 8-5 is nothing.
Doesn't mean a thing.
No, he's playing a strong side, but utmost respect for Nico as a bowler. He can do some unbelievable things at times. So we've got Paul Warburton holding shot. Nice close shot. Cliff with 2 reasonably good bowls. And Steve trying to capitalise on Paul's good leading.
Yeah, Paul played that on his forehand. And went a little bit too wide in the second bowl.
I think Stevie's cut his grass big time here.
Yeah. And it's so easy to do.
Oh, that's what I mean. You can't have that slight lapse in concentration at all.
You just got to maintain a line, maintain a spot, and work to that. And let the bowl do the work.
And he just around. He's put out the other side now, probably as far away, but he's still one to the Henry Warburton combination. Steve sticking to his backhand. He's better on the grass, you would think. It's now a weight problem that he may or may not have. And this might not be so bad in amongst those 2 bowls that are against, behind. It doesn't hurt there when you're holding shot.
Well, he's got 2 sitting out there now, hasn't he?
So I think by the look of things, Nick might have picked up a shot up there, so it could well be. If he moved his elbow, it's 8-7. So Nick one behind, and it still says. I think that says 15-6 or.
That's the
13-6 over on the day.
No, 13-6,
and that looks like young Cooper's bowl right on top of the jack, which is where he's used to being, I might add.
Exactly. Actually, in fact, it'll be a good win for young Coop.
Good shot here from Cliff.
Yes, look at it.
What a good bowl that is.
Yep.
Just a lovely draw shot. Oh, we got rid of the big light in the sky. What's coming at 1:15? Oh, rain possible.
Oh, well.
But they were definite about the 11:31, were they?
Turned up at 11:27.
11:20, yeah. Yeah, we weren't prepared. So Dave got a bit happy with that one.
We're not giving you a hard time, Robbie.
No, it's his weather. It's his weather app. It's working on New Zealand time.
Now.
3 minutes. So
we don't get this type of weather over there, do we? No.
Cliff changing hands. He's trying to get down under his jack high bowl, and he's close.
He's right on it here.
He won't want
Right
to
on
make
it.
that. Well,
Yeah,
two
well,
crackers.
Yep. 2 good balls, Cliffy.
I don't know if he's drawn second shot, but
No, I don't
if he
believe
hasn't,
he-
it's very close.
I don't believe he has.
And
When you look at the angles,
uh,
mind you, we can be wrong here. Easy.
see whether Paul plays weight at this. He's got a whitish line for weight.
Got a bit too much pace.
He's taking care of that.
Yeah. Oh, and falls in.
Stuns through, 1 down, 2 seconds.
Yeah.
So Steve got to make up his mind here. Wait to play. Plays the backhand and touches the jack, he makes 2. Plays the forehand and touches the jack, he possibly makes 2. Or he could play the forehand, sit the bowl through. Well, we'll see. Paul forehand. That big light came back on again. So a little bit wide with this. That's where he finishes. More backward. Steve forehand. Jack. Paul's decided to make it a secret. No, he's a bit wide. Okay, Paul would love to add a second here, I feel. Needs to get down. Just in behind, never hurts there. So Steve, tighter line. Tried hard. Oh!
Yep. Nicked him over.
Still went down.
Yeah.
1 to Cliff Lean and Paul Clarke. They jump out to a massive 8-6 lead. What have we got? After 11, so we've got 3. Yeah, so they've played these long ends, John, and the green's quickened up, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden the time could come into it. Yesterday it was taking them a good 10 minutes to play an end, which is a long time in fours.
And of course they're playing ends. And any unplayed ends, what are they getting a point? They're
I
getting
think they're getting half a point.
half a point for
an
unplayed?
unplayed end, yeah.
Oh, there's the weather forecast. Yeah, we could get something in another 20 minutes or whatever.
Had a fella tell me when I first came here, an old fisherman, he said it rains somewhere on Hervey Bay, on Fraser Island, every single day of the year.
That would be just about right.
So Cliffy, a little bit quick with his first one.
Barham heads.
And he's got out into that no man's land.
Yeah.
Nobody walks, nobody plays, and it just stays there. So Cliff, only 2 things to adjust, grass and weight. He's adjusted his grass nicely. Just a little bit quick. covering the tee for his skipper. It's a pretty fair correction from Paul. Yep, drawn a shot. So Cliff, Paul, just runny. Just that little flick of the finger, John, and it adds a yard and a half to your bowl on this pace of green.
Your delivery's just going to be so smooth. Comes off your fingers.
So Steve, reasonable line for his bowls.
That's Cliff. Cliffy.
Steve. He's short. Okay, Paul.
Paul's way over there. Robbie's on the rantan. Yeah. Robbie's out there with a 4/2.
Yeah. Yeah. Do not get in the road of those cameras. Do so at your own risk. Stevie got out in that no man's land with those things and they stayed there.
Can you see a result from there over there?
No, they're standing in front of the scoreboard.
Yeah.
I can see on David Schofield's rink they're holding a 3 or a 4 at the moment.
It looks like there are 3. There's
so Nev Shovier's last bowl needs to make a difference here.
And he
did.
He did.
Wow.
He was 3 down.
3 or 4 down to 1 up.
Yes.
Game over. So I think Nev and young Cooper Sutton might have won that. So back
to
our game.
Back to the results to get an overall result.
So that'll be
a bit of an upset.
Yes and no.
Yeah, well, when I say an upset, but it's an upset as far as the scores as far as the results are concerned. Yeah.
Yeah, having won 4 games.
Yes. That fourth,
like I said before, I got a lot of time for young Cooper, and
that's for sure.
Nev's a handy bowler from the Burnett district. So Cliff trying to rectify a 2 down, and he looks quickish, but if he lands that yellow bowl, he's in, and he has. Very good result. Yeah. Back toucher.
You mean Neil Shovia?
Yeah.
Neil Shovia.
Neil Shovia from Burnett. Yeah.
From Burnett. From the Tangi.
Very handy.
From the Tangi area.
So, I think we could maybe expect a touch of weight. Steve looking for forehand. He's just looking for a touch on the jack to spit over to Paul's other bowl.
Actually, if I remember, Neil Shovia, I think he got runner-up in one of the state games, I think.
Okay.
I seem to recall. Didn't win it, I know that.
Nicely weighted bowl just underneath in his grass.
Neil Xavier in the state. Oh, that was a state championship. It was a state champion of champions, I recall. Yeah, no, it's and he's been up to Mackay a couple of times with the mixed.
Okay, so
There's,
Paul Clarke trying to add to the count, getting late in the game, and any count in favour of you here is a positive thing. He's well out. Just maybe a touch quick. Only just. So Stevie Henry. Can he get a touch on this jack? Oh, I think he's underdone his grass.
he doesn't want too big a touch, does he? No.
He's got the touch to get over to that yellow and green of his partners.
Yeah.
He's only just out of shot after that rub, which probably may or may not force him onto the other hand. Mark Sutton, the father of Cooper, going past, rejoicing in the win.
Got a very young.
What a good bowl. It does give Steve a shoulder though. If he changes hands, he can come down and get both bowls.
He's got a good kid there, Mark and Lita Sutton. They got a good kid as in Cooper.
Steve.
Young Cooper, part of the Team Hero group.
Yeah, still coming on his forehand. But he might have changed over then to try and skip both bowls out. He's had a few after that. So, after 12, 9-6 to Paul Clarke, Cliff Lean. 2 to go. They may, if they don't muck around too much. They still haven't changed that scoreboard up on Nick's rink at 8-7. So
Is that what it looks like?
yeah, it is. Yeah, it's 8-7, and Nick is the 7, I'm pretty sure, but I think they've played 2 ends since then, so I don't know the result of that.
Not a bad little sponsors vehicle over there from Time.
No. Well, we were having a discussion yesterday about what year it is. No one's told me yet.
Oh, that's good.
I went for 67, 68, and Troy went
You're
for
60,
early
65.
60s.
Yeah. She's one of the old ones, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
The old surfer's wagon.
Normally put a surfboard on it.
So Nick's basically playing for the win up there.
Is he?
Now that David's got defeated, if Nick wins, he's the only 5-game winner.
He would be.
So the boys down here both gave each other a bit of room to move. Oh, Cliffy, I think you're a bit tight again, mate.
Can't. I know. Just can't quite see the head of Nick's rink.
I just saw Troy playing a running shot, so I would imagine he's not doing that if he's up. Right, Paul. I think he's tight too. They've both pinched their grass on this end. Left the skippers plenty of room.
Eh? Oh, right. Well, I see the sponsors over there, sitting over there. Mr. Marshall, you mean? Just can't, the glare on the screen, we just can't get the who's holding here.
Okay, it looks like Nick Gosley has got up last end against Bruce Jewell, which would make him the only 5-game winner.
Yeah, I've seen Bruce driving at the head before.
Yep. So, Steve holding shot with the back bowler, or is it the front bowl of Paul's?
I think Steve would probably just about have the shot there looking at the head.
Yep. Thank you, Robbie. Yep, Steve's back bowl in. They do need to get a bit of a hurry on, only 7.5 minutes. Try and get their last end in. I think Cliffy's pinched this a bit. Yeah, he's not happy, Camper. Tell you what, he wasn't a long way away.
Only one bowl out, really, wasn't it?
Mm.
From getting that gap.
Interesting.
Yeah, but yeah.
So
Here's the chief.
Paul down on the backhand, doesn't want any of Steve's bowl. No.
Yeah, you're right.
So Cliffy doesn't have to adjust much to get a result, and I think he's adjusted his weight the incorrect way. So Paul trying to add. Thanks, John. It's just stepping aside for the guru Brian Marshall as Paul Warburton trying to avoid that bowl, and he's knocked it clean in for shot. So 1 down. Stevie Henry's got some work to do now. And welcome back to Brian Marshall.
Okay, Hips, how you going, mate?
Yeah, good. Been
Mate, what a
enjoying
great day we've had here. I've just been talking to my granddaughter, my 2 great grandkids, mate, so life's good.
Yeah.
Some great bowls being played though, mate. I'm telling you, it's been absolutely incredible.
Yeah, I see your young protege looks like he's won the show.
Yes, young Nick, he looks to be going pretty well at this stage. And
Yeah, he just won. He's only 5-game winner, I believe. He just won that game. And
he just got up and just about to do an interview with one of our key sponsors here.
okay, well, I'll leave you to it.
Okay, Hoops, thanks very much, mate.
No
It's
worries.
been an absolute
Thanks,
pleasure
everyone.
having you in co-commentary, mate. It's been absolutely superb, so thank you very much for your input.
Enjoyed it. See you.
Thanks, mate. So just about to do an interview with Richard, who's the main sponsor of this wonderful event this weekend. Good afternoon, Richard. How are you?
I'm good, Brian.
Mate, can we tell the viewers a little bit about your business and what you do in this wonderful place, mate, up the gateway to Fraser Island? There's wonderful attractions up here. So we know a little bit about your business, Richard.
It's been a pleasure to be a part of Hervey Bay Bowls today and seeing the community that you've created here. I see it as Time Lifestyle Resort in
Yes.
Hervey Bay. We've created a very similar sort of community. We've got a 4-rink bowls green there.
Yep.
10-pin bowling and pool tables and fire pit and lake, and what makes it quite unique is it backs onto a nice little bit of bushland.
Is that right, eh?
Yeah, it goes the whole length of the resort, and the other side of that bushland is Dundarren Beach.
Know it very well out that neck of the woods, my friend, yeah.
Yeah, and so Hervey Bay is famous for those hot summer's days.
Oh.
You get that nice breeze coming off the ocean,
Yes.
and it comes straight through our resort there and keeps it a bit milder.
One thing about it too, though, Richard, like particularly at the moment, particularly if people have no doubt already booked to come to the Bay, but if you're ever thinking about relocating, this place has everything. The Fraser Coast, it really does.
And we offer a secure gated community. They're all owner occupied. Pricing, we started a 2-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1.5 garage. So that's 6 metres deep and 4.9 metres wide for a single garage. And then we go up to double garages, and then we have the RV garages for the caravans.
Most important in a lifestyle place is that caravan, Richard.
Yeah, absolutely. We're in our last stage. We'll also be building a hard stand area for caravans and boats to be stored. But being all owner occupied, I can see that we build a very similar sort of community to what the bowling clubs have created here, so that you know who your neighbours are and who's around.
Boys are getting excited out here, Richard.
Getting excited. Yeah, I had to stop and have a look.
Well, look at this here. It's 9 all and the last end. Doesn't get much better than that, Richard.
It's close. It's down to the wire.
Down to the wire here, mate. So it may be dependent upon if they're going to take any chocolates home or not.
There hasn't been any ball tampering this weekend.
No, there's been none at all, my friend. But no, look, been absolutely delight. I love your combi. Absolutely love it over there. It's very unique to see what year would it be? 60 odd?
Yeah, it's my kind of vintage.
Sorry, my type of vintage too, mate. Don't worry about that.
It's 1965.
Yeah, I thought it would have been around about 64 or something around about. So 65, I was 1 year off. So
they did a wonderful job doing
there
it.
There it is. There's the van we're talking about.
They did a wonderful job doing it up, and it just stands out and turns a few heads as we're going down the street.
Yes.
The homeowners at time have got their own bus that they use to go to the shopping centre and out for dinners and off to bowls. And, we're a little bit unique in that the company that I work for at time, they own 5 resorts in this immediate vicinity. They have the Anchorage, Latitude 25, Lakeview Springs has just come into the fold, and Maryborough RV Home Base, as well as Time Lifestyle Resorts in Hervey Bay.
Mate, it's a wonderful destination. As I said, it's a gateway to Fraser Island. I lived here for quite a few years up in Pialba, and I enjoyed my time here. I absolutely did. I left here to move to Tamborine Mountain, which I lived for 30 years. And sold up there just recently and moved out to Coralvin Valley.
Yeah.
And a lot of people said to me, why'd you move to Coralvin Valley? I said, because it reminded me of Tamborine Mountain 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Nice and peaceful and quiet. So, mate, but an absolute, it is an unbelievable destination. And there's so many things to do in this area. Like, I mean, at the moment, we've got the start of the whale watching season once again. They tell me that the first whales have been sighted. So I'm anticipating quite a few, as always, always has been for as long as I can recall. The amount of people that come here to watch the whales, though, Richard, it's
exciting. Like, to go out there and have, 12 to 20 whales come up and just hang out at the boat and want to check you out as much as you want to check them out.
And that's ever so true, mate. You know what I mean?
Like I grew up on the Sunshine Coast, and I get that same feeling living here. I've lived in Hervey Bay for 20 years now. I'm almost local.
Nearly local, mate. You've got another 5 years to go, and the moment you get 25, they tell you, we moved at 30.
I did marry into a local.
It doesn't matter, mate. That doesn't count, mate.
But, it reminds me very much of the Sunshine Coast in the late 80s there.
Yeah.
It's got that country community feel about it. It does. I'm seeing a lot of buyers come up from the Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast wanting to escape that rat race.
And you can't blame them, as I said. You are, as I said, you're basically at the end of the beaten track, you could say, when you come to Hervey Bay, because it's one way in, one way out. Or there's more than one way out, but I mean, it's basically the end of the line, you could say. And you've got so many attractions here. You've got the place. Every time I come here, Richard, I can't get over how the place has grown. Particularly, I said I left here in 92. And now we come in Boat Harbour Drive, and it's just, you've got everything you want in one location. You've got all the major stores, you've got all the major businesses, you name it, it's all here. Where when I was here, we had to go and buy something, we had to go to Bundaberg.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, it's all here. And something interesting I've noted from after Cyclone Alfred here, I know there's been a lot of beach erosion happening down the Gold Coast and Sunshine Coast and down south. We've actually been benefiting from that sand travelling up north and making its way into the bay. It's given a rejuvenation.
Well, just looking at my time here is that the way Fraser Island also protects you from any of the nasties there, which the basically the east coast of Queensland is very exposed to at times, and particularly through cyclone season and that. But I can recall, in all of my time being associated with this area, and I've got a granddaughter and great-grandchildren that live here now, is that the big thing that I've noticed is that I've only seen one cyclone come south of Bundaberg, but Fraser Island protected us here.
Yeah.
It was absolutely amazing, Richard.
Yeah. You'll find storms come in and they'll hit Gary and break there, and it shelters us quite considerably, and also makes it a perfect spot for taking fishing boats out.
Yeah.
You're not having to do bar crossings and across big swells, and and there's a big population of boaters here, whether they're fishing or just pleasure boaters.
Yeah.
But it's a lot safer environment.
Yeah. A couple of ends to go. A couple of ends to go. I should say a couple of bowls to go. It's 9-all, and it's anyone's game here, and it's an open draw here, Richard. So it's really down to the last few bowls. We see Paul just pulling up a little bit short there. Now Cliffy on the mat at the moment. He's got an open draw here. He's got a good 3.5-4 foot to possibly draw the Absoluta. But in bowling terms, Richard, we've clocked this green at 3 times. It's probably running at around about 19 seconds, which is very, very quick. And that's why the heads are a little bit scattered, because the players aren't used to playing on something this quick. Particularly with the amount of rainfall we've had. And a lot of the players do travel, like from Burnett down, besides Bargara Bowls Club, they're playing on grass. And when you play on grass greens and it rains, it's heavy and it's slow.
Yeah.
Where on carpet, when it rains, it gets fast and wide. Everything you've ever learnt is the opposite too. So
throws it out.
Yeah, but some of the heads have been fantastic, but they're just struggling on this end here.
Been very fortunate this weekend that it was heavy rains yesterday morning, waking up early there, but sort of cleared away about 9 o'clock, didn't it?
Thank God for that, mate.
We all had everything crossed.
It was it's always something that I always look forward to, and so does Robbie. We look forward to getting out of the Gold Coast and getting up here for a couple of events, and it's absolutely fantastic, as I said, to get up this neck of the woods. It brings back a lot of good memories for me. I was actually playing football in those days, and Hervey Bay Fighting Whitings. We won the first grade premiership my time up here, and still got a lot of good friends up here. So
I've still got a Fighting Whiting jersey.
Have you? Yeah. Oh, there you go. We won the premiership. What was that? 80? No, it must have been 92. We won the premiership. up in Bundaberg. And the score was 24-21. Remember it well. What a celebration that was.
Yeah.
Great memories. On your smoothie. So down to the last few bowls here, ladies and gentlemen. Said 9 all. It's been a great weekend of bowls. It's been an absolute pleasure here, and it's thank you for a bit of indulgence talking to Richard. He's the major sponsor here this weekend, and this wonderful event could not be live streamed if it wasn't for the generosity of his sponsorship. So we thank him immensely for us being up here, being able to showcase this wonderful event in this wonderful region. I mean, I know Robbie's old enough to move into those over age lifestyles, but I'm still way too young for that. But I mean, you ain't gonna look at Robbie. I mean, you wouldn't even ask him for a birth certificate, would you?
we're over 50s lifestyle resort. We would have to check your ID.
But, mate, Robbie, you just walk in and say, mate, what room do you want?
The talking on that, biggest cohort that we've got is that 65 to 72 market.
Yes.
You know, we're a relatively new resort. First homeowners moved in 3 years ago. And so, you know, we've got sort of about 6 to 10 people in their 50s. There's certainly a good cohort, 60 to 65, but we find that at that 65 to 72, people are looking to retire, downsize, sell their home, cash up a little bit and buy something new, you know, with all the modern conveniences and 25-metre heated pool and
absolutely got everything.
Full gym and
I mean, what you really got, you've got a one-stop shop, haven't you? Everything's there that you really do require.
Yeah, and you know, being all owner occupied and having its own bowling green there, it gives the homeowners something to meet each other and start forming that community.
And that's probably the biggest thing that people that haven't visited any of these lifestyle resorts to realise that it is really a very friendly, community-orientated atmosphere in there, isn't it?
And look, the style has dramatically changed just in the last 5 years.
Yes.
So I'd suggest to anybody that hasn't looked at one in 5 years to maybe revisit and
have a look.
And just to have a look and to make their own mind up. They're really changed. And with no exit fees, no stamp duty, no sharing of capital gains, it is more like your strata title type of living.
No, which is absolutely for people looking for the type of lifestyle that you can appreciate up here, and a lifestyle that I'm sure that in your latter years you'd appreciate. Could not agree more, mate. I think it's something that I think a lot of people are looking at in this day and age. Even a lot of the grey nomads that are still on the road, mate, I think you'll find sooner or later they'll probably end up in these destinations. So,
yeah. You know, security, putting some money into their bank account, but being able to lock up and leave and come back in 3 months' time, it's proving to be really popular. And, you know, I've had some people, particularly from Queensland, question the land lease model.
Yep.
But if you look at Canberra, all of Canberra is a land lease model. Every unit is on a 99-year lease.
Yeah.
But what it does is it makes them eligible for rent assistance.
Yeah.
You know, which is, for a couple, that's $99.50 a week.
Yeah, that helps out, mate, doesn't it?
It all helps out.
But, mate, I thank you very much for coming in and have a jingmate to us too, Richard. Very much appreciated, mate. But also to... There it is, ladies and gentlemen, 2025 Hervey Bay Men's Classics, proudly sponsored by Team Real Estate Lifestyle Resort, Hervey Bay. I apologise about that. I'm just looking at Fraser Coast and that there. And, of course, the minor sponsors, of course, is BCIB Insurance Brokers, Clayton Hearing, Fraser Coast Council. We thank them very much for their generosity as far as Universal Home Improvements, Hervey Bay RSL, and, of course, David Lee, who unfortunately couldn't make it here this weekend. He's over on Fraser Island. And, of course, Kerry Campbell Homes. We thank them very much for their generosity, but particularly to Richard. And, mate, we wish you all the best. And, mate, I know it's going to be a huge success because what you got is an unbelievable product. So,
thank you, Brian.
Mate, we thank you very much.
Any of your viewers wanting to come up to Hervey Bay, give us a call at Time Lifestyle Resort. Happy to take them on a tour and show them what we got to offer.
Mate, and please, if you got any interest in coming up here, please do contact Richard. I know it is a wonderful product, and I know that you'd thoroughly enjoy it. So thank you very much, Richard. We do thank you very much for your time here today, and enjoy the rest of it, mate. That's nearly over and done with. Another weekend over and done with. So we thank very much, Richard. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the Gold Coast Leadership Media team, we thank you very much for your patronage over the weekend. It's been an absolutely superb event once again up here in Hervey Bay. We look forward to coming up again at the end of the year. And just as behalf of Robbie Allen, and of course I think co-commentators very much, Mr. Johnny Walker, of course, one of the locals up here, and of course Graham Hooper, who's very well known. He's on the Fraser Coast match committee and that, and Hoop's very well known locals. We thank them very much for being in co-commentary with me over the weekend. So on behalf of the Gold Coast Leadership Media team, we have got nothing on for a couple of weeks, so looking forward to having a bit of a break. We've had a very busy period, as most of our viewers would understand. So ladies and gentlemen, enjoy your bowls and support your club.